Hello and welcome to the Wiltshire Caravans handover video for this 2024 Coachman Laser Xcel 845. This video is probably, you could use it for other models in the Laser Xcel range, but specifically this is the 845. As always, I'm going to go around the back first. It's just what the way I do it. I can't help that. You either like it or don't. Right, so coming around the back. So obviously this is where you've got your light clusters. So for your indicators, reversing lights, brake lights and running lights. You've got a Highline brake light. Got the most important thing here, the Wiltshire Caravans sticker. Seeing as this is a Laser Xcel from 2024, it's got E&P self-leveling on it. So there's nothing to do for corner steadies here. And to be fair, grab handles on here, brilliant idea. You try moving this thing without the motor movers. Okay, right, so going around to the offside. Obviously bedroom window, blacked out bathroom window, well, not blacked out, but smoked out black window. Right, toilet area first. The ever popular reservoir for your, either whether you use pink fluid or whether you just use water, it's entirely up to you. It's quite difficult to get in there, so all I ever do is have a 2-litre old pop bottle, fill it up with water, pour it in. If you want to pour some pink stuff in as well, you can stick about that much in a bottle, that'll probably help. But that's what fill it up. People do say, oh, how much do they take? I don't know, to be fair. I've never really filled it right up, so you'll know when it needs refilling because you'll press the flush and nothing will happen. Right, the very popular toilet cassette. Okay, so you'll know when this needs emptying. There's a light in the toilet, which I'll show you later, that comes on to say it's full. You've probably got a wee or two left in it, but don't take the chance. To remove this, literally lift that orange handle and pull straight towards you. Okay, so this is your standard Thetford cassette. It does have the handle on it, so you can walk it around like a trolley dolly. But to empty it, this funnel comes forward, remove the lid, put it somewhere safe. Don't put it anywhere where you might knock it into the hole where this is about to be poured, because you'll have to go and get it. Not a good idea. Right, so to empty it, literally lift it up over, press that orange button there. That releases any air pressure to clear that off. Then you'll want to rinse this out. I say put your lid back on because we're going to give it a shake. Slide that back, open that slider. You'll always have a hose pipe nearby. Put some water in there, close again, swill it, give it a swill, and then repeat the process I showed you earlier. So that lid off, then press that. Okay. You will want to be putting some blue fluid in here, blue or green, whatever is your preference. On the lid itself, there are measurements to tell you how much you should put in. So check on the information on the bottle of fluid that you're using. And then some people dilute, some don't. I never did because I was only ever going to have a wee in there. One other thing, and I'll stress this probably throughout the video, for winterizing, definitely want to get all fluids out of this caravan. You have got to empty the reservoir. That pipe literally just sits above there. That little bung, take that, have a bucket with you. Good idea, because this stuff does pour out. Little bung, and it'll all come out. Get rid of all the water or any liquid for winter. That's pretty much it on the toilet cassette. Beneath that, on this model, these are your two waste outlets. So they are for your two sinks, the kitchen and the bathroom, and for the shower. They get a couple of bits of pipe and a waste master. However you want to do, if you're on a fully serviced pitch, you can buy longer bits of pipe, but they are quite what they are. That's all they are. This one's got all-wheel drive automatic motor movers. There's a separate video for that. Obviously these have got wheels, they're very good for touring caravans. Torqued up to 130 Newton meters, okay, on these alloy wheels. The tyre pressures will come to around the other side when we look at the weight plate. So, next here, you can see we've got a service light. Probably not shining particularly brightly today because it's a lovely bright day. It's a rarity to be doing one of these in the sunshine, to be fair. But battery locker. So in here, dirty great big battery. We generally use the AGMs on the anything with self-leveling. They give better performance in the long term. Power in, so that's your electric hookup. This van will come with a 25-meter electric hookup. And this area here, and this key, is for the isolator for the motor mover. Now, with the motor mover, the isolator is there, well, where this goes in is there, so you cannot activate the motor mover while you're plugged into the mains. You may ask why. Two reasons. One, the motor mover system is a 12-volt system, but more importantly, we don't want you moving your caravan and dragging this out of either here or ripping the pole off wherever you are. Also, back here you've got a couple of aerial points. I'm not sure if you can see those very clearly. If you are in an area that doesn't have a very good TV signal, often they will have antennas on the post or on the camp that you can plug into. Right, next thing, water. Getting water inside this caravan. Here we've got the whale system that we use. Okay, let me just grab the pump out from the front. So, going into an aqua roll, this is the whale water pump. Okay, very simply, that goes in there, that clips down inside. This is the part that goes into your water barrel. This just goes over the lid of the water barrel to stop any detritus getting in. Detritus, big words. And that will clip on when you're going to change your barrel. Okay, very, very straightforward. This caravan also comes with, if you have got a, if you're on a fully serviced pitch, comes with the mains water connection. So this got pipe into there, that goes onto the tap, happy days, but just use tap pressure. I'm not the biggest fan personally, because I just worry that I will put too much pressure on and end up with an indoor swimming pool. It's highly, highly unlikely. However, just makes me a little bit nervous. But that's enough about me. Right, so the next part, you've got an outside shower, cold water only. So boots, dogs and exhibitionists like cold water because you won't be on the awning side. So that's entirely up to you. Okay. This part is the exhaust port. So if you're using gas for your Alder hot water and heating, that is just the exhaust port. That is all that is. But if you'd like to follow me around a little bit, inside here is just storage. So got the pumps, there's the outside shower point, your 25-meter lead. You've also got with here two of these Alco wheel locks. Okay, now Alco wheel locks are industry standard. The insurance companies really love them. But you've got two of those. I've said it's got the E&P self-leveling system on it. We do have a separate video that shows you how you would be able to put both locks on using the E&P system, because the chances of you having the wheels aligned correctly are slim to none. Okay, right, carrying on round. Alco chassis. We're running on the Alco chassis. It's got ATC. ATC is Alco trailer control. So it's got a sensor underneath the chassis that if the caravan starts to go out of shape at all, it will put the brakes on, dab the brakes on. It doesn't hammer them on, just to steady the caravan. Chances are the only time you'll notice it is if you go over a speed bump, in which case I always found that quite comforting, knowing that the system's working. All right, we have got a separate hitching up video, so if you're new to caravanning, we'll send you that as well. 13 pin plugs on these, which enables, as long as your car's is 13 pin and been wired up correctly, means that you should be able to have the ATC. Your fridge should run whilst you're traveling as well, but that's something to get to a little bit later on. Gas locker, okay, so gas locker, it's actually set up for it's a single on there, but that's set up for propane, but you can get 2 bottles, 2 6-kilo bottles will fit in there quite nicely. If you have butane, we can set it up for that as well. Moving swiftly along, outside gas barbecue point. So if you've got yourself a Caddac or any other type of gas barbecue, a couple of meters of pipe, run into there, happy days. I know I say this on every video, but please do not use your gas barbecue inside an awning. It's the old fabric and flame not being best bedfellows. Okay. Okay, second one, outside electricity point. So if you have got an awning that you haven't burnt down with your Caddac, you can run an extension lead into there. I spoke very briefly a minute ago about the weight plate. So this is your weight plate information. So information on here, you've got the VIN or CRIS number, you'll hear it called. The maximum plated weight, so the most this caravan is allowed to weigh, in this case 1904 kilograms. Mass in running order, so empty but with 1 gas bottle in it, 1744. So you think, well, that's quite a lot, it's 160 kilos. You need to take off the motor mover weight from that, and that's about 64 kilos on an all-wheel drive. So you're down to just under 100 kilos of payload. You might not think that sounds a lot, but that's a lot of pair of pants and lots of pairs of socks. Awning light above there. Then we've got the freezer and the fridge vents. Nothing needed to do there. Pretty much on the outside, that is all we need to see at the moment. What we'll do, we'll go on inside, have a quick look round. I'm going to open the door because it's going to be a bit warm in there. So come on down. The price is wrong, right? If you want to go and have a quick look in, I'll follow you in. As you can see, L-shaped lounge in this one. Middle bathroom, so we've got the shower on the right-hand side, bathroom on the left. Rear bed that pulls out to about 6'2". Being an 8 foot wide caravan, there's plenty of space to get around. Generally, I think these are absolutely lovely. I have no, very few bad things to say about them. There's maybe a couple of things that might niggle me, but that's my niggling, not anyone else. All right. So we'll go through in a moment. We'll do the proper handover bit, and yeah, get ready for a ride. Okay, so the actual how to make this thing work. It's a very good question. We'll have a go though. First thing I want to point out is, yes, this is alarmed, this vehicle, this caravan. Where it says lock, that's the alarm set, and that's the unlock. So 2 beeps means we have set the alarm. It will take about 3 or 4 minutes to arm. Now there's a PIR sensor, which is down on the floor here. And we also have a leg tilt. So down there, a leg tilt as well. So if the caravan moves, the alarm will go off. To take the alarm off, unlock, 3 beeps. So remember, if you remember, you've armed it when you hear 2 beeps, you've taken it off, or disarmed it when you hear 3 beeps. All right, just a little bit of simple information. So you reversed onto your pitch perfectly without using the motor movers. Some people can. I'm not one of those people. You've plugged in your electric, you've plugged in your water, you want everything to work, okay? Unlike some caravan manufacturers that have separate, like a shutdown procedure, I know the Sargent system, so Swifts, etc., often have shutdown stuff. We don't have this here. We do have a fuse box and a breaker box. I'll show you that when we get under the benches in a little while. But your main system is up here. So your power, that's your power on and off, and it will tell you master on. When you turn the lights on, it will say lights on. It will say awning on. That doesn't mean to say we've just put a new awning on. It means that we have an awning light out there. Whilst we're talking lights very quickly, we also have, as I showed you earlier, the outside light, service light, which is this switch here. So that's now off and back on again. Okay. Very quickly while we're here, because it's already open, this is where your TV antenna is. So there's a big nut there. Undo that. Lift the shaft, turn it round until you're pointing it the same direction as everyone else, and then retighten up the nut, and then very simply retune your television. Some sites do say that the pitch of the dish needs to be different. That is changed on this part here, so you can lay it flat, etc. Okay, very simple. That's just your amplifier, nothing you'll need to do on that. Okay. Right, so back to the main bits. So, like I say, we've got power on. All the menu stuff is on these arrows up and down. Press it down for settings. To select anything, you need to press, that's your enter key. Select. So you can change the display by pressing into it. You can change it if you wish to do so. Return to home. On or off. On. Next one, sound. We can turn that rather annoying beep off, but whether you want to or not is entirely up to you. We can just press that, key tones on or off. Okay, I'm not going to do anything with it at the moment, but that's what we can do. Calibrate water. Now, this doesn't calibrate the water as in with the whale system. What this does, you have an internal tank in here, and with this internal tank, you can tell the system. It will tell you in a percentage how much water you've got in there, but you can tell it how much water, how many litres are going to be in there, etc. I would say, personally, leave it alone. All you're going to do is confuse things and confuse yourself. We've had it whereby a customer did try to change it, and it took an awful lot of trouble to get everything sorted out. So I would say leave it. It is something that works. However, to calibrate it, the internal tank has to be full already, and to show the empty, it has to be emptied. So it's just a waste of water. Auto pump chain, leave that, nothing required there. Notifications, you won't get any. Firmware is all to do with when we do any servicing, whatever. Save and exit. If you change anything on here, you must save and exit. So save and exit, press there. So that's in the settings. Not really a lot. You can make it go wrong, but just generally try very hard not to. You've also got on here, fill the tank. How much is in the tank at the moment? Well, it's 33% full. To fill it, we would press that. Obviously, pump must be on to fill the tank. Our pump's not in now, but pump must be on to fill the tank. But it would fill the tank from the Aquaroll. Pump select, external pump. So if you're just using your Aquaroll or pumping into the internal tank, use the external pump. You can, once that internal tank is full, press internal pump, and you would just use the water in that internal pump. Very straightforward. Internal temperature, 39 degrees, and it fills every single one of them. I'm sweating here like hell, and so's my little YTS trainee camera woman. That's the leisure voltage. Well, it doesn't surprise me at the moment because we are plugged into the mains. But when you're not plugged into the mains, that will tell you how much you have available in your battery. And that would be to change the time. To change the time, press enter, hold it, clock set hours. It's currently 13:50. So if we just go enter, it's to see why you're going to get rid of that annoying beep. 1350, timer's now set. It's as simple as that. There is nothing particularly complicated about this caravan. Okay, that water pump. So we've set it currently on, I can't remember if it was internal or external, it doesn't really matter, but to make the pump work, pump. And it will tell you, pump on. Turn it off, pump off. Can't go wrong. As I was saying earlier, lights off, lights on, awning off, awning on. This is not to do with the Karate Kid or anything like that, wax on, wax off or anything like that. It's just showing you how simple it is, and this system tells you what you're doing. Whilst we're going on about water, I was mentioning an internal tank. The internal tank is actually underneath the front bench. So if I just move a couple of these bits out of the way. Lift this bench up. Under here is your internal water tank. Now that will hold about 37 litres, okay? Which is quite a lot. And when you've got an aqua roll outside as well, you've got almost 80 litres using both systems. I'm going to recommend don't travel with any water in here unless this is absolutely necessary and you're not going to be able to get any water where you are, because obviously this is at the front and 37 litres of water is 37 kilos, so it's quite a lot. With this, there's a pressure switch as well, so if your water's pulsing using the internal tank, just turn this at a quarter turn a time just to sort that out. But when you want to drain this out, currently this tap is closed. To empty that tank, then gravity will just empty all that water out. So I'm going to let it go. It's going to leave it for now. But that's where your water tank is. You do have an option. That lid turns, so if you need it for whatever reason you needed to go in there, you can do so. Straightforward. I did mention earlier on in the video about having no liquid in here during the winter, or when it's likely to be frosty, whatever. Very, very, very important. As we know, frozen pipes in a caravan are one of the worst things you can have happen to it, really. Burst pipes means you've got lots of problems, and it's not covered by any warranty, so be aware. However, I now need to go under here to show you where the drain downs are. Now the drain downs are yellow taps. On these you've got, I'll get there in a minute. Don't worry Danny, I got this. Right, so under here, not sure if I can get you to see it. So you've got a tap there, yellow tap down there as well. They are your drain downs, one for hot water, one for cold water. Okay, they are currently basically closed, so water can come into here, so to fill up the tank and the water systems. To drain them, just flip them up so they are vertical, and that way all the water drains out. Okay. Whilst we're here, compact 3030 Aldi boiler, so that will hold 10 litres of hot water. When you do bring any water in here, really that fills up first before anything else goes around. That's where the water pump comes in. Occasionally you may have to calibrate your water system. I can say that there's something in the pack to tell you how to do that. I'll also send you a video link for that. But that's the ICU unit. It will show, you'll have a green light on it. Again, and if you've done this before, you know what I'm talking about. If not, don't panic. It doesn't happen that often. We've also got down here the gas isolators down here, and it says here gas point position off and on. Gas points are all on at the moment. Okay. Those two blue boxes, that's to do with the motor mover, so nothing to worry about there. Here is the charge unit for the solar panel. Obviously working overtime today because it's nice and sunny. I still can't believe I'm saying that. It's sunny here in Wiltshire. A red button. This red button, you know when they say don't press the red button? Don't press the red button. This is to do with the EMP self-leveling system. If you've got a problem whereby you cannot lift the legs, whether it's a battery fault or the panel fault or anything like that, believe me, I've only ever heard of one person having to do this, but it obviously has happened. That is your emergency get out of jail free card. Literally push down on that button and that will absolutely drain everything you have out of the battery. As soon as you've done that and got the legs up, plug the car in or plug it into the mains or whatever you can do to get some power back into the battery. All right, but it is, you know, it's get out, like I say, get out of jail free. Do not collect £200 or pass go. This is just for your fuses, breaker switches. Chances are if you overload, if you take more power than you have available, you'll probably pop the pole outside, but if not, check in here if anything's gone. Okay, quite straightforward. Right, next bit. Being in UK, it's not usually as nice and warm as this is, so we need to know about the heating. Heating and hot water. It's got the Alder 3030 system. I showed you the boiler previously. The system is pretty easy to use. So to turn on, power on. You'll see a little green light. That green light shows you it's on. It's very clever. So the first page is how warm do you want the minimum temperature to be in here. It's currently 35 according to this, but we can, it's just thermostatic. It's just like a thermostat at home. Turn it down to whatever you want the minimum temperature to be. Down or up, whatever temperature you like. Okay, very simply. That sign's just showing that we're plugged into the mains at the moment. Menu, get to the next screen. So that's the internal temperature in at the minute. Yeah, certainly feels it. Energy. So we've got on electricity, we've got 0 kilowatts, so off. 1 kilowatt, it would take an age to heat this thing up at 1 kilowatt. However, 2 kilowatts, it will warm it up quite quickly. You do have the option of going to 3, but there's not going to be that many sites available with that much power, because that's about 12, 13 amps in itself. And a lot of them have only got 10 amps anyway. And this is just for this system. This is not for anything else, just this system. So 2 kilowatt, more than enough. We'll warm this up nice and quickly. If you're on a site that's starting to charge for electric, warm it up by going on to 2 to start with. Then if you go down to 1 kilowatt, that will maintain the temperature. But like I say, it will take an age to heat it up. You do also have the chance of, if you're off grid, going on to gas. Or if you want to warm things up very quickly, 2 kilowatt and gas. That'll do it quite nicely. But it's as simple as that, okay? Menu again, hot water. So the 3 choices, off, on or boost. So off, no power to the hot water. On, there is power to the hot water. Boost will give you an extra charge to the hot water, so it will do what it says, it boosts it. For 30 minutes it will boost up the power, but it will use all the power using on this Alder system, so that will take it away from the heating. So whilst the water would heat up very quickly, the water would heat, he says, water would heat up very quickly, but the heating will go off. Chances are you'll never need to use it. Then from the screen, menu again, now you've got your options of night modes, day modes. Oh, he says, night mode. Oh, come on, you fat-fingered numpty. So you can go, you can change this as much or as often as you like. Start time you can change, days you can change. To be fair, it's the same for day modes. Personally, all I do at night is turn it down or off, to be fair, but that's entirely up to you. I am going to be sending you a video link from Alder themselves that will cover all of the options available on the Alder 3030 system. We do send, you have a book as well, but it's quite simple. Go through as much as you want. However, you're really not going to need to use anything other than what I've just shown you here. And when you turn everything off, turn it back on, it will still go back to where you were previously. Been a little bit vague on it because I am sending you a video that will go into more detail. The Alder video itself, they will mention dual climate, not available in anything I'm aware of yet. So don't go too much into that. Other things on this caravan I need to show you. Cooker does cooker things. The microwave is one of the new microwaves that does not have the plate that goes round. Don't worry about that, that's just my pacemaker going off. It's a 650 watt microwave rather than the 800 watt previously. Haven't used one myself yet, but I can't imagine it's very difficult. It's a microwave. Cooker does cooker things as always. It has the one hot plate and the 3 gas rings. It does have an isolator, so you can turn off. It has a plug down here. You can take that out if you do not want. I'll leave it out. If you don't want to accidentally turn on the hot plate, light in the oven, and the sparker for the 3 gas burners, the separate grill and oven. Fridge and freezer. They've upgraded to the Thetfords this year. Let me just turn everything off to start with. So, power. It's the one raised button with a power sign on it. Press and hold, and it comes on. That middle square, press and hold to change what fuel you want to use. Okay, so we've got a choice of automatic, electric, off the car, or gas. I'm going to put it back onto auto. And then you've got the option of changing the temperature for your fridge and freezer. Now, I showed you the battery option for, so when it's going off the car, the fridge freezer has to be cold in order for that to work, and the car has to have the 13-pin connector, otherwise it probably won't work. And like I say, it won't cool it down from a standing start, so to speak. It has to be cold already. So if you're in storage when you leave, there's no point turning it on. Simply because it won't work. Okay, happy days. Oh, I'll show you inside it. So, fridge, freezer. Not surprisingly, it does fridge freezery things. Bathroom. I will show you into the bathroom because I did say earlier about a light that shines on the toilet when it's needs emptying. So that's where the light would shine. That's your flush. Ooh. Obviously there's your toilet. One thing to remember, this does move around, it is a swivel. When you've done what you need to do and emptied it into the cassette, before removing the cassette, you will need to close that flap. Otherwise, it won't come out and you'll get cross and you'll try to break it. This towel rail does get very hot. Not surprising. It's part of the Alder system. Shower does shower things. Bed does bed things. Blinds. Haven't shown you any blinds yet. So all of the blinds are blackout blinds going top to bottom, and then fly screens above those. Windows, they've all got these little button latches. Make sure you press those as you open them, and these tighten to keep the windows open. Wardrobes with lights in. Individual lights everywhere. These are all individual. There's a light switch for the main bedroom light there. And if you'd like to open that, you will see that's the reservoir for the Alder heating system. So as long as it's just above minimum, when the system's cold, that is more than adequate, because the glycol and water mix expands when it gets hot. You don't really want to have too much in there, it will just overflow. The bed does come out. Comes out that, so you've still got plenty of room to get around, and there's still some storage under the bed. Those are just the two pads are for making up the bed at the front, and that's your waste master that comes with the caravan. Not really much else I can show you that you need to know. Oh, you do have an extractor fan. Sounds like a Ford Escort from 1978 starting up. Got some individual lights, as I've seen before, the small ones, but then you've got these strip lights. Nice touch for these though is if you hold on to the power button, they dim down. So you can have some extra mood lighting. Cupboard space aplenty. Guinness rack. I don't think it is the Guinness rack, but don't see why not. Another more storage here. You've got your freestanding table. My particular favourite of all of these things is this cupboard, only because soft close with a solid thunk. Beautiful. Anyway, this is the Coachman Laser Xcel 845 2024. TV goes there, by the way. Underneath is the area for the aerial point, etc. Any questions? As always, good God, look at this. I'm leaking. Any questions? 01373 752 100, option 1 for the sales team. You can email us, sales@wiltshirecaravans.co.uk. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I don't know where else we are.
TikTok.
TikTok, yes, we're on TikTok as well. So I've got some very serious videos on TikTok.
Obviously, we're on YouTube.
Wait, yeah, and the YouTube channel. So, particularly if you're watching this, do feel free to share, like, and subscribe. The more members and more subscribers we've got, the better. Just a fabulous van, as are all the Laser Xcel range. We still do have some in stock, but that's just shameless marketing. But if you need anything, give us a call. Remember, 01373 752 100. We're on the West Wilts Trading Estate in Westbury in Wiltshire, 36 Headquarters Road, BA134JR. Come and visit us. We'd love to see you. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.